So just a quick video about my evolution to what I carry on the back here. The first thing is I've got one of these tool rolls with the lids on it, don't know if you can see that, which I've got a rolled up, I think it's a Mosko Moto tool bag, which is rolled with all the tools, and I've got them in there. But it doesn't leave much room for anything else. So maybe a bit of evolution how I got into this rear pack. It's not as big as it looks on the camera actually. I've got one of these backcountry racks, I think it's called backcountry, and they're really good. They've actually got slots that you can fit a hard case onto. So I actually started with one of these relatively large hard cases with just slotted onto the rack. I just felt that was a bit big, and a hard case, you know, they're fairly heavy. I then moved to a smaller case. The trouble with the smaller case is it really doesn't carry very much, and so then I moved to this soft case. Now interestingly, the soft case is about exactly the same size as the hard case, but it actually can carry more stuff, and it's probably because it's a bit flexible. The hard case is fairly rigid obviously, and so the soft case you can get more stuff in, it fits better. So the first thing to notice is I've got my first aid kit, a couple of rock straps, keep the first aid kit on through the molly straps. It's a 4 litre Mosko Moto, it fits the backcountry. So if you look at my backcountry 30 litre, on the top of my 30 litre backcountry is a pocket that I fitted. It comes to fit the 30 litre obviously, and so that first aid kit fits in there when I'm touring. So basically I don't have to unpack my first aid kit. It either sits at the front here on the back of the bag, or it fits the Mosko Moto backcountry duffle, 30 litre duffle. So I just exchange it between the two as I travel. So this is my day stuff here. So the first thing is this pack is, who makes it? I got this years ago for the top of a BMW top box. So it's RS Motorcycle Solutions from Germany. It connects with 4 straps to my backcountry rack here. It also zips down. You can actually make it a lot smaller. I could probably zip this down actually, but I've just left it as it is, and it's got some elastic straps on top. So what do I fit in here? Well, let me clear some of the stuff off the bench and show you what I've got in here. So this thing just opens up, simple zip down the bottom here. As I said, it's got a zip at the top as well, and the zip at the top just squeezes it all down if you want to, but I don't have to really. So the first thing in the top here is my weatherproofs. I've got BMW, it's not really an oversuit, but it's over trousers and over top. The over top comes with the BMW rally jacket, and the trousers come separate, and they're fantastic. They keep you really dry. I then just got a little bit of rubber mat or whatever it is to keep the suit protected from rubbing underneath. And then I've got one of these things, and what this is just a mat to go on the ground. So whenever you've got repairing a puncture or even a picnic or whatever you want to do, this is just a mat. And I'll put the in the video I'll put all the names, where these came from, and this basically expands out to be a bigger mat that you can put on the ground. It's handy for changing tyres, and as I said, picnics and things like that. Then you get down to the spares. I couldn't get a set of mole grips in my toolkit because there was just not enough room in that tube, so I carry a set of mole grips, gaffer tape. This is repair tape. It's that self-binding repair tape, so it locks onto itself. Some talcum powder for changing tyres, so that goes on the tubes to help them move inside the tyre. I think that's just an Algene an Algene 2-ounce tub. They're very handy them. And then you get, what's that? That's some bead goop for putting the bead on tyres. Also it helps getting it off sometimes as well. Then I've got, this is just a little repair kit with CO2 canisters in it. So if I ever do get a puncture, I can give it the initial burst of air with the CO2 canisters, and then I can top up with a pump. I'll show you that in a minute. So the CO2 canisters, I've only got 4 of them. They're just normal bicycle canisters. I don't think they're the big ones. With a CO2 KWT inflator. Yeah, they're fairly handy. And the good thing about this one is it's actually got a valve in it. So a lot of them, they don't have valves on them. So when you screw it in, it just goes. So it's what's known as the release method. So this is handy. You can actually have the valve closed when you screw the canister on, and then you can release the air in slowly. Okay, so that's that. Then I've got a toe strap, an M8 Saver it's called. It's just a little toe strap. You know what to do with toe straps. You put them down around your foot and then onto the bike. Or around your foot rest, so if anything happens you can take your foot off it and the other bike doesn't get dragged along the ground. That's fairly handy. Where'll I go next? So this is just a general bag of stuff. So I've got a 90-degree inflator. I've got a spare top for my tank, gloves, wipes, some zip ties, things like that. So that's just a general bag of stuff that's there. The two on the side, these are my inner tubes. So that looks like my front and my rear. So I've got them in sealed bags with some talcum powder. So that just keeps them in there. This is a cycle repair kit for tube tyres by Best Rest. So that's got all your puncture repair stuff in there in case my tubes, I use all my tubes, so that stays in there. The good thing about this as well, while I'm here, is the top screws off, and you can actually use it to dilute some of that bead goop into. And I've also got a little paintbrush in here, and so you can use that as a little container as well, so that's pretty handy. Oh, it's got, no, that's out there. I'll get to these in a minute. You've actually seen these before. So these are my tyre repair kits by Eastbound. So they break down the levers and the tyre spoons, and it also comes with 22-inch and 24-inch, I think, if I recall. 24-inch, sorry, inch, Jesus, 22 millimeters and 24 millimeters for the rear axle. The front axle, I just use the standard Toolkit one because it's quite a thin nut on there. So they just stay in these Eastbound pouches. So that's in case I get a puncture. And finally, I've got, so this actually was for a cycle. So what that is, a Lenzine pump. It's a Lenzine foot pump for a bicycle. And you can see there it's quite small, folds up quite small, sits in there. That's very handy for just topping up your tyre pressures. And this is a trail stand. And as I said, I'll put the name of the trail stand in, so that just comes out of there. I've got that in, actually I'll open it, hang on. So this is just a folding trail stand. And what I did was I put a piece of inner tube around it. So this is a 23C cycle tube, and it just fits over perfectly. And then I put some end caps on it to protect it. And what it does, it just folds out. So you just take that off, and then it folds out. And whatever way it folds out. There we are. So that's just a trail stand. All fits together. Comes with a a clip that you put through there, and then a top it goes onto there, and you can prop up your bike if you take one of your tires off. And so as I said, it fits a inner tube perfectly, and I just put the caps in it to protect the ends, and it just sits in there. That's really handy. So everything folds down into this RS Motorcycle Solutions bag, and if I'm traveling a longer travel, I move all this stuff to my panniers, and this to my Mosko Moto Duffle. Otherwise it just stays in here. The raincoats will probably come out in the summer. It gets a bit warmer here. Spring now, still getting some rain, but I'll get rid of them soon. And that's it, that's all I carry. Okay, since I'm here, I will pull the toolkit out. I've got this little sort of noose on the top. Just stops the cap, losing the cap if the cap ever comes undone. And just screws off. Quite good, these actually. I can't remember who makes them now. I'll find out and put it in the video when I make the video. And then I've just got my toolkit stuffed in a plastic bag to keep it nice and dry. So if I put that in there, just let's pull this out. Actually, it's a Beaumont toolkit. So I don't actually carry that much in it. Most of them are standard tools. The only thing, so I've got standard 17mm spanner, which is the Suzuki. That looks like a Suzuki one as well. 1210. I've got some lightweight ones from Asahi, or whatever they're called. Yeah, that's a 12. That's a 10. That's looks like an 8 or something, an 8. Yeah, these are from the standard toolkit, 24 and 19, with the rear axle and the front axle. That's the spark plug tube, I think. Yep. Yeah, that's for the spanners for the axle. This is extra. I've got a little extra, whatever it's called, hex bit holder, and that might be Leatherman actually, for bit holders as well. That's a little Nipex cobra grips. They're quite handy, them. And then at the very end here, I've just got some spare fuses and 10mm socket. I wonder where that went to. And an 8mm socket and some bits and a hex key for the what's it called? My quad lock. So they're just a little hex, some extra hex keys, some sockets, and then, as I said, some spare fuses for around the bike. And that's it. So I don't really carry a lot of spares. Enough to tighten things up on the road, but not enough to do a major overhaul. But if you get to the stages you're having to do a major overhaul on the road, you're probably in bigger problems. And then this comes with a nice little thing you can put in the ground if you're doing any work to keep all your bits and pieces in order. And so that's in my toolkit. So my toolkit's pretty basic. It actually takes quite a bit of room, this, so there's probably smaller ones on the market. But that's all I can get in my tool roll, these tools, and that's it. So tool roll, that's the size of this with the raincoat out. So it's fairly small, as you can see. It's fairly compact, and as I said, that's my first aid kit. It goes everywhere, and I can move that to more Mosko Moto stuff if required. I did forget to mention as well that this comes with a rain cover under here. So if ever it's not waterproof, so if ever it's raining, I just cover it with a rain cover, and that keeps the water out. We don't get a lot of rain in West Australia. And that's it. So there's my top box, first aid kit, I'm not going to look in there. And then my toolkit, which goes underneath the in this little frame holder. Thanks for watching.